If you've been out of the loop recently, the most recent CSGO update caused changes to non-prime and most importantly related to CSGO investing, it removed the non-prime drop pool, meaning that these cases are either no longer drops or they're moved to the rare drop pool. And based on everything I've seen, it doesn't look like any of these cases are being dropped anymore at all. So today, I'm going to talk about why I think the CS20 case might have the most potential out of all of them. So if you do enjoy and want to learn more about CSGO investing in the skin scene, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on anything. And final thing, just before we get into the video, let's talk about our sponsor, LootBear. LootBear is a site where you can rent up to $1,200 in CSGO skins for as low as $15 a month. It's a completely trustworthy, scam-proof system that will 100% refund you if somebody tries to steal your items. And the best way out there to try out 6 skins without breaking your bank. Like right now, I'm still renting out a Paracord Fade and can for the entire month, or I can rent up to 5 skins and switch them out as many times as I want throughout the month. Like I've rented gloves, a sapphire gut knife, sick karambits, anything you could think of for only as low as $15. And the best part about it is that you can try it out for completely free for 10 days if you click that link at the top of the description. So be sure to check out LootBear today. But for now, let's get right into the video. So out of all the cases that got moved to the rare drop pool or discontinued off the recent update, what's my reasoning behind hyping up the CS20 case? I mean, I bought 2,000 plus of these right after the update came out. I'm not just hyping these up for no reason. Well, the CS20 case was released on the 20th anniversary of Counter-Strike, and it introduced the classic knife, a knife that has yet to be reused in any other case, and probably never will be, as this case was meant to be just an homage to Counter-Strike. It's completely exclusive to the CS20 case, which is now extremely limited once again because it's no longer an active drop in the game. So now you're probably starting to see what I'm getting at. The classic knife is more limited than any other knife in the game because of this. It's the only case in the game with an exclusive rare special item besides the clutch case, which still has exclusive gloves, but the clutch case is still an active prime drop, so that's a completely different situation. The CS20 case appears to be completely discontinued. So once again, this case has a classic knife, which definitely isn't the best knife in the game, it definitely isn't no butterfly knife, but at the same time, it isn't the worst. Once again, a knife as exclusive as this one in a case as exclusive as the CS20 case is gonna gain value no matter what, even if it's a plastic silverware knife. This thing has to have its value, especially in the current CSGO economy. So should you buy this case at this very moment? Well, we're now a few days after the initial hype surge that happened right when people found out this case wasn't an active drop anymore. The case peaked at around 26 cents off that and now sits at around 19 on the Steam market. So it's definitely had its time to settle down and flatten out in price after the hype has sort of died down. Maybe it can go down a few cents more, but I think it's either at its lowest point or very close by this point. I unfortunately don't have exact numbers, I'm just going off memory for this, but before the non-prime update, there were over 300,000 of these things on the market, and now there's around half of that. I believe the day after the update, the lowest point was somewhere around the 110 to 120,000 range, so it's gone up quite a bit as people have decided to sell their cases during this huge price spike. But as people continue buying these cases, with over a third of the supply being bought off the market already, based off the initial numbers that were before the update, and a lot of investors just simply holding onto these, waiting for them to increase in price, and once again, either an extremely limited amount if they're in the rare drop pool, or none of these things at all coming into supply, all the cases need are time to reach insane highs like we're seeing with other cases like the breakout and glove case. I'm very confident these things can hit $1 at some point. I never like giving exact times as some of the hype surges with these cases, especially in the market right now, are just not predictable at all. Like if we see anything with the CS20 cases like we saw with the breakout cases for example just a few days ago, if you invested in these things, you're going to be sitting on a hefty sum of money. I think it's very possible we see things like this take off sometime soon. Maybe more people start to realize how limited these cases are going to be, and that it shouldn't just increase the price of the CS20 case, but the classic knife as well. Like if we look at butterfly knives, for example, just look at how far these things have taken off in the past year as a breakout case has gone up. Of course, part of it is just collectors willing to pay more and more money for the knives alone, as butterfly knives aren't 100% limited to the breakout case, but you get the point. The more limited a case gets, the more expensive the knife in the case gets. And yes, it only seems to be the knife for most cases that I've seen and not the skins in the case that get more expensive. If we zoom out on the price trend of the breakout case, obviously it's gone up a ton so far, whether on the month, year, past years, whatever. But if we look at the P90 Asimov, it's not the same at all. This thing has been static for many months in price. Even with the huge spikes in the breakout case, it hasn't really budged at all. Well, if we look at one of the butterfly knives from the breakout case, they have a really good trend along with the normal breakout case that they're in. So it's really strange, but apparently price trends of cases don't really reflect on skins at much, if at all, compared to the effect they have on the knives at least. So how long are you gonna have to hold on to these things if you want to make a pretty good amount of money? Well, based on the trends of the cases recently, it's very possible that these things can just randomly have a huge hype surge. As I always recommend, have a price in mind that you want to sell at if you're getting into something like this, because if we see a huge hype surge, it's possible we do see a pullback as well. Especially if it's as big as the one that we saw just before the update, with this thing like over tripling in price from the 7 cents it was at before. Just absolutely insane. But I do think with around 150,000 of these things on the market still, we're definitely gonna have to give them at least a few months time to get some major results, like in the dollar range for example. I think these things are definitely a better long-term investment than they are short, as they're only getting lower and lower in supply every day. Personally, for me, I made the mistake of selling 400 breakout cases at like $1 each, and now they're of course at like over $3 I think last time I checked, and I don't plan on making the mistake again. I'm definitely going to be holding onto these things for a long time. My target price right now is probably something around the $2 to $2.50 range, but it's probably going to change depending on how the breakout cases perform in the next few months, next year, whatever it may be, because if I see bigger highs with that, I may very well hold past $2, $2.50, but I do own 2,000 of them, so I think I'll do some sell-off of like 500 of them maybe at $2, because I'll have definitely made my money at that point, or if they have a huge spike, and then maybe I'll buy back on the dip if Steam tax doesn't hit me too hard. But yeah, that's my plan for now. You could use a huge price spikes to your advantage, but it's kind of hard to tell when they're gonna end or how high they're gonna go, especially in the market like this with a breakout case and glove case just going absolutely insane recently. Like, it just seems holding is the best option for now. But besides all that, I think that does wrap it up for this video, so definitely be sure to join the Discord. Link will be somewhere in the description. We're nearly at 2,000 members, tons of people to talk to about investing with, trade with. It's pretty sick. And of course, be sure to subscribe to the channel, help your boy get to 33k as we're getting pretty close. And finally, of course, check out LootBear. Once again, link at the top of the description. But for now, that wraps everything up, so I'll see you guys next one. Peace.